if you haven't watched Nqobile, I don't know where you've been, because this drama has been the talk of the town. We are so proud of the executive producers who have come together and who are becoming, industry giants through this collaboration. We can clearly see that there's a lot of thought, a lot of work that's been put into this production. And I should also say that the lead actor who plays Nqobile, her real name is Nqobile Khumalo. We've seen her on our screens in South Africa, and there's a lot of work that has been put into this production at large. But essentially, the drama is about a woman who is abused by her husband, and we watch her, rise to power, and she begins to live fearlessly. And I should say that the production is a mere reflection of some of the issues, that women face in society, in the workplace, at home, and each and every week, just keeps you captivated, wanting more. I can't wait to see, the final episode, to see how everything will pan out. But I love the woman that Nqobile is. I remember the first scene where I saw Nqobile's husband, Simo, brutally abusing her. I thought, oh my goodness, what is going to happen to this woman? He's definitely going to kill her. But each and every week we learn something new about Nqobile. I want you to see this scene, and just to see its intensity. I remember after my sister watched it, she said, oh no, I cannot watch this production. But each and every week she's sitting in front of her TV, Monday, 8 p.m., ready to watch Nqobile. Let's have a look at this scene quickly.
Wa bona ha re bua ka radical reform strategy ke ntho re buang ka yona re tlameile jwale re tle ka a new leadership strategy as well.
Yes, of course.
Memangosi, thank you.
New leadership, what do you mean?
Ke bolela hore re tlameile hore re thole permanent CEO.
Well, I mean, that's obvious.
Wa bona esale Nqobile anka leave company ile a putla. Jwale re hlokometse hore Nqobile ke yena mokokotlo wa company ena. Ka ho re ntse qeto ya hore Nqobile e tla ba yena CEO.
Akusanoko.
Uvuma kanjani ukuthi ama-investors angene azenzele umathanda la kule company yethu?
Company yethu.
Yebo.
Lama investors ane point ngoNqobile.
Baba, akukhohle nje kancane ngoNqobile. Ukubheka kimi, yimi indodana yakho.
Ngabe bekungeyena uNqobile. Ama investors ngabashenqile.
Baba. Nkosi. Hlobladlele. Ngiyacela. Ngicela ungiphele ngithuba.
Ngikunikile amathuba sekwanele.
Ngiyacela baba. Ngicela ungiphele ngithuba.
Hayi manje si.
Yeah. Vele kumele kube nzima. Ukuthi wena emini uyazula. Uzenza uhlebo madwini. I instructed you ukuthi ungizi kule meeting kodwa wena wazenza igondwane. Wangena and then made a fool of me.
Awuthi sikhuluma kusasekuseni lento.
Hey! Naling fulathele mengikhuluma nawe ya. You killed my son.
Simo ngiyacela. Bekuyingozi sithandwa sami.
First you want to take my father. Then it was my son. That is my company. Ufuna ukuthatha company yami wena. Huh? Then you should have stayed at home, man. You should have stayed at home.
Sithandwa sami ngiyaxolisa. Simo ngiyakuhlonipha sithandwa sami. Ngiyacela ngiyakuhlonipha ngicela uyehlise umoya. Ngiyacela.
Ifa lami lena. It's my inheritance, not yours. Yakenza uthintini.
Simo ngiyacela ngeke.
Ukuthola
Sisi
Okay, it's quite intense as well, and I'm sure a woman and people who have been victims of abuse, they must be going through a lot just watching that scene right there. And just to give you a bit of a background, what happens here, what leads Simo to beat his husband is that there was a pitch at work, and so Simo works for his family's business. It's an e-hailing company, and so the business, isn't really doing too well, and the investors ask, for the company to come up with new suggestions, which will put the company in a better place monetary wise. And so Simo pitches to the investors, and the investors aren't happy with his pitch, and they basically say your idea is bad. And they ask where his wife Nqobile is, because Nqobile is she's an intellect, she's smart, she's able to think of good ideas. And that morning before Simo went to work, before he went for that pitch, he specifically said to Nqobile, don't you dare come anywhere near the office. Don't you dare come there. I want you to sit at home, be a wife, be a mother to our children, and don't you dare come anywhere near that office. Why? Because Simo knows that everyone in the organization is fond of his wife, and so he's threatened that his wife is taking his shine. And he can see especially how his father is fond of his daughter-in-law, and so he feels like his dad loves his daughter-in-law more than him. Nqobile is taking his shine, and he feels like Nqobile is an imposter. He feels like she's not even a part of this family. She's married into this family. Everything. This is my legacy. He basically feels like the company is his legacy, and that Nqobile should just stay at home. And he basically tries to put her down, and he tries to limit her to just being a woman who is good enough to stay at home, because he doesn't want her to rise and become who she's truly meant to be. So on this day, after the investors tell Simo that, hey, your pitch is bad, where's your wife? They had just lost their child, and unfortunately the child passed away in Nqobile's care. We learned that the child drowned in the pool, and Simo, is sort of, he blames Nqobile. He says that he claims that, she killed their child, and so he ever since the child passed away, he's been saying Nqobile should stay at home and mourn the child and take off and look after the other older child. So this is just the pitch happens in this backdrop, and so Nqobile decides that, what, yes, my husband told me that I shouldn't go to work, and the company is struggling, and she's quite an industrious woman. And so after her husband Simo goes to work, a few hours later she decides to change and go to work, because she feels like, I have just the idea that will save this company. And just as Simo finishes his pitch, and just after the investors say your idea is bad, Nqobile arrives at work, and her father-in-law sees her, and he calls her into the boardroom, and he says, oh my goodness, perfect timing, come, the investors want to see you. And her husband was just like, what are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to stay at home? And she pitches to the investors, and the investors are like, whoa, that is great, this is such a great idea. And they nominate Nqobile to be the CEO of the company, which makes Simo go ballistic. He was like, what? You are appointing Nqobile as the CEO? What about me? This is my inheritance. And so all of that happens. So when Simo returns home, he's drunk, he's had something to drink, and he beats his wife. And so he feels like Nqobile, has disobeyed him, and that she's disobedient by refusing to stay at home. But we know what the real issue is. He feels intimidated by his own wife, that, she will become, more successful than him. And so I want to ask women, who are in this position, or who have experienced what Nqobile is experiencing, who feel like their partners or their husbands constantly try to put them down because they are insecure and they are intimidated. Sometimes, there are women, who are intellects out there, women who, were built and created to occupy executive positions in the corporate space. And so sometimes you get in a relationship or in a marriage with someone who sees this in you, and he feels intimidated, and he tries to put you down, and he tries to deter you from your dreams. How many women have actually gone through that, where you find yourself having to settle for less just to accommodate your partner's ego? We've seen this happen far too many times in South Africa and even globally as well, where women just settle for careers that weren't, in line with their dreams, but because they got involved with people who, who feel insecure and so forth. And maybe sometimes as a woman, you come from a particular background, you come from a family that's maybe, let's say, that's well off, and you fall in love with somebody who hasn't been exposed to the opportunities that you've been exposed to, and just to try and accommodate them, you end up settling for less, so that you don't make your partner or spouse feel like you're trying to be better than them. So I just want to ask the women who are watching, and even the men, is it fair? So there's another interesting character in the drama who I have to say I'm warming up to. She's the villain, and she is behind Simo's evilness. We are learning, and we do know that Simo has an evil heart, and this is due to this woman, Black Widow. So Simo's indebted to her, and she goes around killing people. She killed Simo's dad right in front of his eyes, and she goes around killing people, and she wants a share in the family business, and Simo is under pressure to give her a percentage of the company, otherwise he'll lose his life. And so what I'm learning about Black Widow over the past few episodes is that she doesn't have so much of an evil heart as we think. There's something that happened last week that made me say, oh my goodness, Black Widow isn't the woman that I really thought she was. Take a look.
Usindiswa ubengafanelanga ukufa. Someone has to pay. When a choice, it's either we are one person, you watch confess ukuthi wenzeni, or uzofa ngesandla sami, ngizomtortura, ufe a very painful and lonely death. Uma ngabe uwakho umsebenzi ukubulala abafazi, mina uwami umsebenzi ukwenza sure ukuthi ijustice yenzeka.
So this man that Black Widow and her accomplice are interrogating is a man who killed his wife. And so I have to say this to you. Black Widow currently contributes to a home for abused women. And the background is that she was also, abused by her partner. And then we've also learned that Nqobile is in fact Black Widow's maternal grandmother. Nqobile's mother was Black Widow's daughter, and she died in the hands of, her abusive husband. So Black Widow goes out, to make abusers pay for abusing their wives and their partners. So what happened in this scene that I just showed you is this man, he killed his wife, Sindiswa, and he basically beat her to death. Sindiswa broke free, and she went to the home for abused women, and she was under their care for a while, and she decided to go back to her partner. Unfortunately, it didn't end well. he beat her to death. And so Black Widow finds this out, and she calls for this man to be brought, and she interrogates him, and she traumatizes him, and she basically does everything to make him feel pain. And he says, listen, if you don't hand yourself over to the cops, I will kill you. So that's what she says. And she says that her responsibility is to make sure that justice is served, even though she doesn't do it in the right manner. She does it by inflicting pain on other people, but she's grown to become a hero to victims of abuse. Some women are cheering for Black Widow to say yes, hurt him. Why did he kill his wife? Why did he have to do that? So she keeps interrogating him, asking him, well, because this man in this scene says, hey, listen, she wasn't cooking, she was not good in bed, she didn't make an effort. And Black Widow, says, well, was that reason enough to kill her? So that's my question as well to accusers and perpetrators out there. Is it an excuse to say, well, my wife was no longer, cooking the way I wanted to cook. She became lazy. She wasn't cleaning around. She wasn't taking care of herself. She wasn't good in bed. So is that an excuse for you to abuse your partner? I'm always asking why. If it's so bad, you always have the option to leave. Why inflict pain on someone when you can just say, listen, thank you so much, I'm done, I'm gone. I would rather prefer that you leave. Yes, we do not enjoy seeing broken homes, but rather a broken home than a dead body. Rather leave and find somebody else who's going to suit your needs. But we always know that it's always linked to some sort of psychological illness. As the issue of abuse goes deeper than just physically abusing your spouse. It goes to your background, how you were raised, your experiences, and so forth, and learned behaviors. And so that was a mouthful, but I really, in essence, have to, applaud Ayanda Boroto. I'm really impressed to see her grow tremendously in the media industry. We were first, introduced to her as, an actress, and growing to see her now as an executive producer, as an author, is really inspiring. And we also have Nobuntu Webster, and we have Adze Uga. They've all partnered together, and they've created this amazing production, and they've just in my eyes, they have become legends already, because this is their first collab together, and it shows that there's a lot more in store that they have to offer, not just for South Africa, but for international audiences. So after today's episode of Bekezela, I have to ask women out there, are you going to Bekezela, or are you going to rise up to who you've truly been created to be? Are you going to Bekezela, or are you going to succumb to your abuser until you are no more? Ungabekezeli.
Bekezela.
Ungakhosha nqa. Uma ufika lapho uyobatshela ukuthi ushiya konke. Ukushiya ezandleni zami. Ukuthi wena umama unomndeni kumele unakekele. Siyazwana?
Yeah.
Good.
Stalosa. Can we have dinner tonight?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Dad.
Thandwa yini? Sibe ngawe lana. Awusheshe ukhuluma.
Sanibonani. Uxolo kakhulu bakethu ukuthi nginilindise nonke. It's been a hard and trying day for me. Mangibhekisisa kahle lento. Ngiyabona ukuthi not only is this an opportunity to rescue the company, but for second chances. I have to do this. Baningi abantu abadepende kimi ukuthi silungiswe lesimo. I am therefore here to announce that I am ready. Sesobonana ngo-8 kusasa.
I just want to say to you, Bekezela. Good night and Wumandla.